Hey everyone, I'm Allison with Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and welcome to another Hearth-Fire Cooking in the Kitchen with the Green Goddess. So I'm in my home in Saskatoon in the city, so I'm in a different kitchen. I'm not at the farm this weekend. But today I am making some mushroom soup. Now I've never made mushroom soup before. It's something I wanted to try, so I thought, well, this would be a good weekend to do it. So it's a new to me that recipe that I've never tried. So I welcome you to join me with this food adventure. So the first thing I need to do when you're making soup is to make soup stock. I mean, you can buy chicken stock or broth, or you can buy bought stuff, which is fine. But I always feel making your own soup stock is so much better, so much more flavor, and you can control the flavors, you can control the amount of salt that goes into it. And you know what? It is so easy to make. It is so easy to make a pot of broth. You know, if you can boil water, you can make soup stock. So this is my pot of chicken stock. So basically it contains, the carcass of a roasted chicken that we had for dinner a couple weeks ago. Once we had pulled all the meat off of it, we just put the carcass in the freezer until I was ready to use it. And then I threw in, a couple of onions, a whole bunch of garlic, some peppercorns. I threw in some carrot, some ginger slices, a handful of salt, a little bit of turmeric, just, because, and it's been simmering now for probably a couple of hours, and I will probably let it simmer for at least 2 more hours, maybe 3 more hours. I always feel the longer you let it simmer, the better. The more flavor comes out. The more nutrients comes out of the chicken, out of the bones and everything. So once it's ready, once I feel that it's ready, that it's done, I will pull it off the heat. I will let it cool down for a little bit, and then I will strain it. I'll put it through like a mesh strainer and strain out all the bits and pieces and bits and bobs, and so what I have left is a nicely flavored soup stock. The other thing I did add into it was some sprigs of fresh herbs. Like there was some fresh thyme, rosemary, and some fresh sage. If you right now, that kind of fresh herb, you kind of have to buy it in the store. But you know what? If you don't have fresh, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using dried. So join me in a little bit, and we'll continue with our recipe of cream of mushroom soup. So here we are. It's all ready to go, and I'm just going to strain it. It's quite hot still, but that's okay. That looks good. Okay, so here we are again. I've got about 2 tablespoons of butter in my soup pot, and I've got my onion and garlic all ready to go. So I'm using a medium-sized onion, finely diced, and about 4 cloves of garlic. So I'm just about to put those into the pot so that they can cook a bit in the butter. Just like that. Nothing quite like making a mess on YouTube where everyone can see it. There we go. That's all in the pot. And I'm just going to give that a stir. Get them all mixed up into that lovely, lovely melted butter. So for this mushroom soup recipe, basically all I did is I went on Pinterest and looked for a mushroom soup recipe because I've never made it. So that's what I did. So I'm just sort of basically following a very simple recipe that I found on there. So in terms of mushrooms, I'm using the cremini. I don't know if you can see that. And this is a 450 gram average size container of mushrooms. You could probably use whatever kind of mushrooms you want. So while the onions and the garlic are cooking down, these are sliced ones, but I'm still going to give them a rough chop, just so that they're a little bit smaller. There we go. Just do a few at a time and give them a nice little bit of a rough chop. And then once the onions and garlics have kind of softened up a bit, we'll throw the mushrooms in. There we go, just like that. Give these another stir. All right, so mushrooms are ready, good to go. And the onions and garlic are all sweated down, so we're going to just take that bowl of mushrooms and add them in. All right, there we go. We'll give that a nice stir. It's looking good, smelling good too. All that onion and garlic and butter. Oh, it's going to be an awesome soup. Okay, we're just going to let those cook down a little bit all together. And then all the recipes that I looked at on Pinterest said to add flour to the mushrooms. So we'll do that in a little bit. We'll just let them cook down a bit. All right, so in goes the flour. And once the flour is stirred in, we're going to add our stock, our chicken stock. So I've measured out about 4 cups. Depending on the recipe, I saw one recipe that said 2 cups, one recipe said 3 cups. So I think I'm making a fairly large recipe, so I'm just gonna add the 4 cups of chicken stock. And there we go. Okay, and we're just gonna give that a stir. We're going to let it simmer and come up to a boil. And then we'll add our cream. Yummy cream. So I do have quite a bit of leftover chicken stock. That is not a problem, having leftover chicken stock. What I have left, I will probably freeze. And then I will have some at a later date for the next time I want to make soup, or if I want to use it for making something else. You know, chicken stock or soup stock, whether it's beef stock or chicken stock, whatever, it's actually really, really good to cook rice in. And it actually gives your rice added flavor, but some added nutrients too. So that's something that you can do with chicken stock, not just make soup. All right, so the mushrooms are simmering. They've come up to a boil, and we'll just turn that down and let them simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll add our cream. Okay, so we're about ready to add the cream. Now, before we do that, if I wanted to, I could take some of this out and put it in a blender, or use, if you have one of those stick blenders, so you can stick it in there and just to puree it a little bit, and that would probably give it a more smoother, maybe thicker texture. I don't have one of those stick blenders anymore. Mine broke, and I haven't replaced it yet, and I really don't feel like digging out the blender, so I'm just going to leave mine the way it is, nice and chunky, rustic. So it's ready for the cream now. I've got about half a cup of cream that I'm about to add to our soup. Oh my, that looks so good. That looks so yummy. And it smells good. It smells great. Nice and hearty for a cold winter day. For some of us, those January blues are hitting hard, and this definitely is a comfort food. All right, I'm gonna give this a try. Scoop some out, and we'll have a taste. Let's see here. That was perfect. I don't think I need to even add anything. I mean, you could at this point, if you needed to add a little extra salt, a little extra pepper, you could do that, but this turned out perfect. It's beautiful. The mushrooms are lovely and hearty, and the broth, the cream is just, like I said, definitely a wonderful comfort food. So thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen in Saskatoon on a cold winter day. I hope you've enjoyed my experiment in cooking, new recipe. I hope you're having a great weekend and a great Saturday, and hopefully soon we'll be getting our hands into some soil. Probably end of February we'll be starting our seeds for the garden. But anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and until next time, take care.